Have you ever looked at a comic in your collection and wondered, how many different ways could the printer this thing up? Well, if the book you're looking at is Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man #1, then the answer is more than one. We've all heard of the Blue Lizard Air variant, but did you know there was another color Air that is even more rare than the Blue Lizard? In this video, we dive into the mysterious Copper Lizard variant of Spider-Man #1. Recently, I sat down with a friend of the channel, Vince Dinkelman, the owner and operator of VKToys, an area toy and comic dealer. I've known Vince for a few years now, and when he was telling me how he'd found something pretty special recently, I couldn't wait to get him on camera to share what he'd come across. Now, let's get into that conversation. Vince, welcome to the channel. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with me tonight and talk about these crazy books you found. But before we get into the meat of it, why don't you take a second and just tell us about yourself? What do you do? What do you collect? You know, all the good stuff, all the details about Vince.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Drew. And yeah, about me, I'm a big time toy collector. So I've been collecting toys since I was a little kid. Really a ton of both toys and then trading cards as well. So Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually got into comic books through collecting Spider-Man 1 was like my first big comic book, my first eBay purchase as a kid,
nice.
Which makes these books kind of special. So right now I'm a full-time, I sell on an app called Whatnot, as well as eBay, comic books, toys, that kind of stuff.
Very cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. So it's kind of cool that we're coming full circle. You know, Spider-Man 1 is where you got your start. And here we are sitting down today talking about some more Spider-Man 1s. So what brought you to collecting? What was the catalyst that really made you decide that, whether it's toys like you mentioned or comics, what brought you into the collecting community?
I'd say, you know, there's two time periods. You know, as a kid, you know, a lot of the movies of the 90s, a lot of, you know, friends and that community aspect of trading or showing off your collection or just playing with toys. And then as an adult, getting to display those pieces of nostalgia and getting to put together things that we just truly love has been so special to me. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So, you know, you mentioned Spider-Man 1 was your main thing. And here we are. Let's start to dive into some of the meat and potatoes of why we're here today. How did you come across these books?
Yeah, so basically I came across a marketplace listing on Facebook, which said 300 comics for $200. And in the picture, there were two gold Spider-Man 1 books, one sealed in that package, which is cool. So there's different, like you could buy in different packages. So that was 1 through 5 in a sealed pouch. And I said, man, this is gonna be high grade. Like I don't have any golds yet graded at all. Let's go take this chance. I couldn't see what the other books are. But at $1 a book, I'm gonna make $100 plus get those two. So I'm like, let's do it. So it was like an hour and 20-minute drive to go pick these up. And the cool story is, and here's like a few of the books in there. There ended up being 18 total Spider-Man 1s in there.
Oh, wow.
So here are 3, or here's a poly one too. So there's 4 there of the silver version.
Okay.
And when I got there, the guy bought it all. He only bought comics for 6 months in 1990.
All right. I mean, you know,
so you
short timer
runs of these books, but that was right when this was out. He had to buy 10 of the silvers to get 1 gold, or 10 of the color to get. I mean, at the time, you had to like do things to get to buy these other ones. And so we had this long box of books, and that he had only bought for that period of time. So really, there were not many,
That's awesome,
if any, in there besides these Spider-Man 1s, which, as you and I both know, ended up being a very lucrative purchase for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say.
But it was unbeknownst to me at the time.
And that's great. I mean, and Spider-Man 1, it's a common book. There's a lot of them out there, but to make the discovery you did, that kind of takes it to a different level. So at what point did you realize what you had actually come across?
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on with me that day. I was just killing some time at work and thinking to myself, you know, I really should get those graded. You know, so I send the packages off to CBC or CBCS every few months or so. And I thought I'm going to send these off. And so what I like doing is I'll go into eBay and I'll type in the book and I'll do highest price plus shipping to make sure I'm not missing anything, newsstand, direct, certain variants, things like that. And in this, I came across something called the Blue Lizard variant. And I saw that this Blue Lizard variant, raw, I haven't seen any graded copies in my personal research, was listed like $300 to $400 when the book's a $30 to $40 book. And I'm like, all right, let's find some Blue Lizards. So I did a bunch of research. And on that, with Blue Lizard, they basically said it's only in this silver edition. So it's not in the colored, it's not in the gold, it's solely in the silver edition. So that, only had to look through 7 books total. And with that, I started going through, and the first 2, they were both normal. And the third one was completely abnormal, we'll say. I hope that you're able at some point maybe to put a picture that I sent you to show those books, because they're yellow. I mean, it's not like some like little color, fading. I mean, it's straight up yellow.
And I love the offset because it's literally right next, the opposite page is the normal green lizard. So you here, everything's fine. You turn over here and it's like, what the hell happened on that page? My mind was blown. And once I found the first one, I was like, what if there's more? And I had no idea, a value or anything like that, or really any information on it at that time. And
so
at that point, you weren't even aware that the copper variant existed.
Correct.
Is that right?
Okay. I had no idea. Yeah. And so at that, I took it as, well, green is a combination of blue and yellow. So you have the Blue Lizard variant. So I started searching for yellow lizard variant Spider-Man 1 and really did not come up with much. What happened was I stumbled upon a thread on a CBCS article, which is a grading company. I'm sure your viewers know that, but a CBCS forum page. And it was talking about the copper lizards. That was the first time that I had heard the terminology of copper lizard variant, which is what these are.
If you're looking for a new place to shop for graded and now raw comic books and other collectibles, head over to myslabs.com. MySlabs.com has just expanded into raw comics, and their 3% seller's fee for raw books is a great value compared to other selling forums. Now let's check out this quick video from MySlabs.com to let you know even more about the services they offer.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Thank you to MySlabs.com for sponsoring this video. I know I sat down, I tried to do some research. When you first said you had them, I'm like, I don't really know a lot about this. It's not something I was really all that aware of. It kind of surprised me. I got to look in, and there is a little bit of information, like Key Collector even notes there's a copper variant, but it's kind of like, it has an asterisk next to it, almost, to where it's like, one guy had these books, he sold one for a bunch of money, and then like immediately another one was put up for sale after the first one sold. So the community was kind of cautious. They were like, okay, so there's this really weird thing that nobody else is seeing. This guy not only has one, but he has multiple copies. Like, what's going on there? So there's this, like I said, there's this level of distrust in the community. And that's the thing that excited me the most about it when you said, I found these, because that helps verify or support the fact that this is, it's obviously not a common thing, but it removes that individual from the circumstances to show that it's a legitimate thing. So I'm assuming, did you encounter some of this same stuff? What did you discover when you were researching in regards to that?
Yeah, and one cool thing, Drew, is you've known me personally for at least 3 years now,
Yeah.
and I dabble in comics. I love action figures, are my main thing, but I'm finding this like it's I'm not some sort of just random person on this front. I consider us good friends, and like I said, I think this is a really cool opportunity. I agree on that front, and finding these together makes sense on my why I have 3 of them, for example, is the guy bought them all from the same person, the same store, the same time, the same day. That batch
that were shipped from the same box, from the same distributor, that were sourced from the same production facility. So yeah, it all tracks.
Exactly. And so instantly I read that, I'm like, I didn't know what to do, what to think. So I read through that article, and in that article, it mentioned a Facebook group called, it's like SM1 Club 1990 or 1990 SM1 Club, something like that. There's around 400 people. And I instantly went onto that page to get approved to join. And pretty immediate, I posted a picture of the first one. I said, hi, I believe I found something pretty special. You guys are the experts. I saw this CBCS forum. And going back to the CBCS forum portion of it, actually the president and owner of CBCS commented in this thread. It's a 3-page thread.
Steve hopped on, huh?
Yeah, he did. Steve popped on. And what he said was, we won't so it was talking about why they wouldn't grade the yellow or copper lizard variant when you will grade the blue lizard variant. It doesn't make any sense. One is a lack of yellow, the other is a lack of blue. Like, come on. Yeah. And that was their argument. And he said, we consider this a manufacturer's error because there's just not enough of them. And that was, where he talked about that story on that with key collector or key comic collector. Where it's talked about where there's only those there. Well, when I posted this, instantly one of the moderators, admins, and creators of that group called me via webcam. And he is one of the largest Spider-Man 1 collectors in the world, if not the largest. Super kind guy. And he informed me that I had something special. And so
it's always a good call to get.
What'd you say?
Said that's always a good call to get.
Yes, it is. When someone like that calls you, yes, I was super blessed, on that front. And he told me that he has been tracking this specific book for the past 5 years. In addition to others and variants and different things like that, Blue Lizard as well. And what he said is, if he's able to verify these, which I had to send him pictures and stuff like that they would be number 10, 11, and 12 known in existence.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy. Yeah, there had only been 9 verified copies of these in existence, and I ended up timesing that by 32%. Once I did send it to him, and he did verify. And on that front, that is where he's the one who provided me this information on the print run, for example. In the meantime, there are 2 listings on eBay where they comment copper lizard variant. Neither one is him or me. They are raw books, and I believe one is asking around 800 and the other is asking, I think, 12 to 15. And I really have to view them. I'm no expert on that, to make that type of judgment on whether they are truly or not. But that was more research that I did to kind of just gauge an idea of value and stuff. And so at that point, what this person, the main person on that page, had said is that over time he had actually acquired 2 total copper lizard variants. And you want to talk price a little bit? I know it's coming up a little later, but I think he told me he paid like $200 and $400 for his in the past 5 years or something like that.
For raw copies.
Raw copies, correct. And the market with comics, has just soared lately. It's been insane the past year. So these were purchases, before that big spike. And the seller may not have known what they had. Who knows on that front? But he had 2, and one of his friends had another. And so what he asked me to do is to send a letter to CBCS along with the 3 books, the 3 verified copper lizard books that I have, and see if since we've increased the amount from 9 to 12, if they would realize it as a variant, because they'll write blue lizard variant on the slab portion, and for these, which you can show, at some point or however you want to do, but this one shows manufacturer's error, which is exactly what Steve said he would put in the description. And I believe once that other gentleman does get his 3 back as well, it'll have the same information there. So we were unsuccessful in getting them to put copper or yellow. I don't have a ton of pull at CBCS. I'm not in with them. I did write a very, in my opinion, convincing letter. But at the same time, something really cool is if more of this, this video or something gets, word out there to look for this variant and people find them, we might be able to resubmit to CBCS and have them amend to that copper or yellow lizard variant, whatever they would choose to put in.
So they note manufacturer's error on the label. When you read the grader's notes, do they indicate what the error is? Do they mention the copper or yellow coloring in the notes, maybe?
Unfortunately, this time they do not. Steve had mentioned that they would in a private message to another person on the SM1 club that I've been chatting back and forth with. However, all it says is manufactured with 7th and 10th page color plates transposed. So, I mean, it could be pink and pink.
All right.
But the thing is if if it's blue, it'll say blue. So in that front, the only real option with the variant in this is the yellow or copper. The only way to truly, see it basically is to crack it open and look for yourself, unfortunately.
And I wouldn't recommend that with, a 9.8 copy of this book.
Of course not. Yeah, I agree completely. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't, completely thrilled. I know we just showed a 9.6, but here is the first time I'm showing one of the 9.8s.
Let's see these guys. So,
we have not put it for sale at all yet. Either of the 9.8s. We do have the 9.6 pending right now, but here's the 9.8, and it does have the manufacturing error, and that is enough. I've talked to many people in the Spider-Man one that club, and they said that makes sense. Some argue, they're like, well, manufacturing error in 7th and 10th page, what does that even mean? How can you tell it's copper lizard? And
exactly.
I took plenty of before and after before pictures of both things, and really in that front, I stand behind every product that I sell, and I guarantee, like I said, each one of these is the yellow or copper lizard variant.
So I know just posting in the group, with that niche community, knowing that you have these, you've had a lot of interest in them, and you mentioned that you've already got a potential pending sale for the 9.6, and maybe we should back it up. Go ahead and show everybody what you have, if you will. So we've got 3 slab copies.
So right here, so I mean, it's kind of difficult to show everybody, the gang all here. I don't want to mess with some valuable stuff, but there you go.
So we've got a 9.6 and 2 9.8s, all white pages, it looks like.
Yes.
All very nice. That's good. We hope for that on a 90s book. So you've had all this interest. Obviously, everybody is trying to get one of these if they're completionists and love Spider-Man 1. You've got the one pending sale.
Yeah.
What's your plans for the rest of them? Oh, no, you're good. What's your plans for the rest of them? How are people, the members of the community? Obviously, I suspect if people see this video, you may have an increased potential customer base. What are your plans to bring these books to the market?
Yeah. So one thing is I do have one of the 9.8s potentially pending to another to basically the person that helped me out so much. He was super kind. He's the reason I sent him off. I probably would have sold him raw for whatever price had I not had his wisdom and knowledge in this. And so I will share it as a 4-figure number. And it is something, like I said, if he wants to discuss what it is, I'm going to leave it up to him on that front. But I did say if he wants it at that number, it's his. And what he is doing is he's getting those 3 graded. And what he is doing, if he doesn't get a 9.8, he's going to purchase mine. If he does, he's not.
Gotcha.
And so I may have 2 available. The 9.6 could be available. The person, I only posted it in the one group. Within 4 minutes, I had a commit from someone that is a very reliable purchaser. Just wanted to wait till the end of the month, which I'm in no rush. And so
Gotcha.
the 9.8 or 9.6, sorry, I listed for $800 shipped in the United States, because that's what a raw copy is listed for low on eBay. I know I'm, leaving some money there. At the beginning of this, I did tell you guys what I paid for this. I also had graders fees. And there's plenty of stuff we don't hit on.
Yeah.
But this guy's a serious collector, a good guy, and so I will honor that $800 price to him. Should, like I said, the one person not purchase the 198, and he doesn't purchase the 9.6, then all will be available. I know that you had mentioned, you kind of been talking to me about myslabs.com. I did some research on that page, and we'll continue doing some research on that. That sounds awesome. I'm sure you'll talk about it more in either this video or a future video.
At some point, they're a new sponsor for the channel, so we're happy to have them.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. And then really, like I said, I'd love to be able to turn this book into a 9.8 dual signed Lee and McFarlane, either the gold, the silver, or the colored. I think that'd be a really cool trade. That book is valued between $1,500 and $2,000, which is, a lot of money for sure. But if someone has an extra one of those and they don't have this, I think that's a pretty fair trade on that front. Especially considering it's a 9.8 and there's only 12 in existence.
Exactly.
This video.
I don't know the census off the top of my head, but I got to imagine there's probably at least as many, if not more, double signed copies like you're after. So,
for sure.
You got to think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. So, is there anything else you think we ought to know about your find here? I got to admit, I'm a little jealous. I find this book all the time, and most of the time I just get the plain old green lizard, nothing exciting at all.
Yeah. So one piece of information is just kind of a fact. So if you have a sealed poly like this, don't open it to look for one of these variants. If you want to open it for whatever reason, you can, but don't open a search for variant. It has been verified that you will not have a blue or yellow or copper lizard variant in a sealed poly like this. You talk about numbers in a census, kind of there. I don't know the print run off the top of my head, Drew. I'm sure you can kind of add it in at the end of this video. But I think this silver variant has like somewhere between like 1 and 2 million prints total of this. Okay. And we're talking 12 out of 2 million. That's like, you know what I mean? That's so rare.
Very, very
just insane. And just to get to own these is a true blessing. And really want to make sure they go to good homes. That's kind of my main goal. And like I said, I've had them, and there's no variant that I'm aware of on the gold, other than UPC, that kind of stuff. But this is purely the silver cover. And you, like I said, make sure to check them out and look for that blue or yellow / copper and see what you can find.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here with me tonight and talk about the book. Very happy for you. It's an awesome find, just something cool. In my opinion, that it's good just to have another discovery to put the market at ease that, this is a real thing. It's not somebody trying to pull one over on the market or on the community. It's legit. So I was very happy to hear about that. Very appreciative of you spending your time to share this with the comic community. So with all that in mind, best wishes for the sale. But before we wrap it up here, I'm going to throw it to you just to let everybody know what you've got going, where they can find you if they want to check in with Vince and VKToys. The floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure. So I go live 3 to 4 times a week on an app called Whatnot. My username is just VKToys. It's all together, VKToys. We sell mostly action figures, 3 to 4 action figure auctions a week, but then we do have 1 comic auction a week. We sell sets, slabs, singles, that kind of stuff. It's just fun, usually in the morning. Otherwise, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and Eventually, I know, Drew, I haven't even told you this. You can edit this out if you want, but I'm going to be doing some YouTube videos that more focus on, hauls, and then some knowledge on like sports cards and trading cards and stuff like that. So the video that I have coming up is talking about Magic the Gathering beta booster box, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So what to look for, how to tell the difference between alpha, beta, revised, and unlimited, things like that. So just kind of like how you're sharing all your knowledge here and, kind of working with me on this. It's my goal to, just share some stuff that I've learned, because I can't find stuff on it. So it's like, I had to do all the research. I may as well share some of that.
Somebody else is asking that same question.
Oh, wow.
I mean, inevitably, right? If you're asking a question, there's somebody else out there in the world asking that same question.
100%. And we're looking at, 2010 was the last time that there was stuff really posted on this. So, and if you watch YouTube videos, they're like, oh, we're going to open this box, but they don't show you the box. They don't show you the packaging. They don't tell you ways of checking that out. And that's where I'm like, I'm pumped, like I said, on stuff like that. And even, like I said, being a part of this video with you, bringing this to light, I just think is such a cool opportunity. And
definitely.
Well,
if anybody finds any just random alpha or beta boxes, congratulations, you've really done well for yourself.
True.
But no, that'd be great. And I'm here. If you have any questions, I'll do what I can to help you. I'm not Mr. Beast, but I think I've done okay on YouTube lately, and I'm very appreciative of the community. And the main thing is just to make sure you're making content that your customers, your audience wants to see. But again, I appreciate your time today, Vince, and thank you for joining me here on the channel.
Yes, thank you so much, Drew, for having me. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to Drew.
That's it. He said it all right there. All right, everybody. I'll catch you on the other side. I hope you enjoyed learning about this rare variant or manufacturer's error as much as I did. Information is pretty limited on it, but with only a few copies, like a dozen copies or so known to exist, that's not really all that surprising. Key Collector does note that there was a sale for a raw copy in the amount of $15,000 in August of 2020, but the seller raised some concerns when another copy was listed just a couple of months after that for $10,000 less than that previous sale, and it also had the same description and pictures provided. At the time, the seller claimed that there were only 6 known copies. Fast forward to today, and we now have 12 known copies, but the shenanigans continue. A raw copy sold on December 12, 2021 for a best offer below the $800 buy it now price. The same seller has a copy listed for sale today with the same price of $800 or best offer. One other raw copy is listed for sale on eBay for a cool $1,195 buy it now. The scarcity and the curious sales history of this book makes it difficult to determine a fair market value, but one thing is for sure, it's a very niche collectible. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy comic collecting and comic investing content, then check out one of these 2 videos here. Thanks again to MySlabs.com for sponsoring this video. Check them out and let them know that Como sent you. Collect responsibly. I'll see you in the next one.